As much as I'd like to be working on the TC125 or doing some more work on the old truck, unfortunately, we got to work on the daily driver. The oil pressure sending unit, as far as I can tell, is not working properly. This has a dual stage oil pump, and it's apparently there's a low and high pressure side, and it works good sometimes, and other times the check engine light comes on stating it has low oil pressure and it goes into limp mode. My research, I'm thinking that it's probably the oil sending unit is faulty. I guess it's a common problem with these. Unfortunately, it's way down underneath the intake manifold. These engines also have a plastic oil filter assembly, and the oil coolers also part of that same assembly, and it's plastic. And these are prone to leaking really badly. From what I've read, it's not a matter of if it happens, but when it happens. So Dorman makes a full aluminum assembly for that, which is a fix for it. And I have to dig down deep to get at the oil sending unit, so we're going to change that at the same time. Well, we've got the intake manifold off. Wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Wasn't fun, but it wasn't too bad. This is interesting. Oh, I noticed this rubber piece that just sits on top of here. The corner's all chewed out, and it almost looks like there's a mouse nest in there. So at some point, I think a mouse had crawled in there. I don't have much history on the vehicle. I've only owned it for a couple of years, since 2018, but I don't know if it was sitting somewhere for a bit or something and a mouse went in there and made a nest. But yeah, that was kind of interesting. Anyways, well, now we've got to get the lower part of the intake manifold off, because the parts we need to replace are underneath that. So we'll move on from here. So there, we've got the lower intake manifold off now. The part that we need to replace is the oil sending unit, and it's the brass, the second one that's lower down there, that we need to replace. But we are going to be replacing this whole oil filter cooler assembly, as they're made out of plastic and they're prone to leaking. So we've got the Dorman replacement that's all aluminum. That's a fix for this problem. So I haven't got it yet. It's supposed to be coming tomorrow. So once we get that, we'll show you that and compare the two. Also, the driver's side spark plugs, you have to take the whole upper intake manifold assembly off to get at them. So I think while we've got it off anyways, we'll change plugs on it too. Okay, so here's the old man rant coming out in me now. So why do they have to make things so complicated? So we pulled this off. It wasn't the worst thing in the world, but in order to take this off, the intake manifold comes off in two pieces. I counted 13 different hoses and sensors that I had to unplug in order to get this off. And it was probably about 2.5 hours work. Now when you come over here, look how simple this is. I changed the intake manifold gaskets on this one day. It took me like probably 45 minutes. There's like, you got your 8 manifold bolts and probably 2 vacuum lines, and the whole thing pulls right off. Like, why does things have to be so difficult now? There's the old oil cooler oil filter assembly. We can see that it's all plastic. Mine wasn't leaking, but apparently they are prone to failure. What I'm changing out is, what I'm hoping is the problem, is this oil pressure sending unit. So we'll get that changed out. I had to dig down as deep into the engine to change that. I thought I might as well upgrade the filter cooler assembly. We can see this is a solid aluminum part. Seems a lot more sturdy than the plastic one. So we'll go ahead and get that changed out. I didn't necessarily mean this to be a tutorial on it or anything, but I am going to point out a few things along the way. There's quite a few videos on YouTube on how to change this, but a couple of things they don't mention. This valley down here really fills up with oil. So you got to be aware of that. Some guys, I think you could maybe use like a wet dry shop vac to vacuum it out. I mean, it's a lot of sopping up with paper towel. I had a big vacuum syringe that I used for changing out gear lube, so I was able to put the tube down there and suck most of that out. The other thing that they don't really tell you about either in the YouTube videos are these fuel injector things where they plug in. They tell you just pull up that red tab and they pop right off, but no, they don't. I was playing around with them. You got to pull up the red tab, and then also this little black piece right in there under the red tab, you have to press in on that after you pull the red tab up, and they come out. And even then, they're still pretty sticky. That was one of the more pain in the ass things to do, was just unplugging the injectors. Anyways, we'll continue on. Well, it's all done and back together. Runs perfectly, no check engine lights, so we'll see how it stays. So hopefully that's it, and then we can start turning our attention back to bigger and better projects for next time. But I think my project now, in the immediate future, is going to be shoveling my walk. We got one heck of a winter storm that just rolled in. So anyways, that's it for now.